Nice to meet you, Jake. How are
Yeah.
you?
Nice to meet you both as well.
Cool. Well, yeah, let's just jump on in. I mean, we love to have the new people on the podcast when they join just to kind of get to know you and just kind of be like, we are your friends now. Welcome. So let's start with the basics. How did you get involved in acting to begin with?
I kind of fell into it playing sports in high school. My one of my coaches actually was the one act play director, and so I needed a credit for college. My last year for when I was a senior, and I said okay. I ended up playing the importance of being in the importance of being earnest. I played the Reverend, and yeah, didn't do anything acting wise for a couple of years. I got my degree in aerospace engineering, and then while I was working for Boeing up in Seattle, kind of got the itch to perform again, and then booked a couple of things, and now I'm here.
So acting was never something you considered doing as a career. Like, I guess what made you decide that that's what you wanted to do as your career?
Right. I think sometimes I always like performing, sometimes to my own detriment. But we would when I got to Seattle, I think the artistic stuff just really started drawing me. I started out with like open mics playing music, and through that just happened to come upon an audition for a musical, and through that musical I booked it, and then started studying theater up there. I think it was just the idea that knowing the future, like certainly in a certain way, was absolutely imprisoning for me. I hated that feeling. I don't want to know what's happening tomorrow, and so it was one of those things where this job, this career, much to my own like detriment at times, is not stable. But there's something about that tomorrow could change, and like we could be doing something totally different tomorrow is really freeing, and like it's like getting excited about all the things that you don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing in that regard.
That's awesome. So there's a bit of a Texas connection when it comes to Chicago Fire. I myself am a Texan, just like you.
Nice.
What was your audition process like? Did you have an in through all the fellow Texans, or did you just audition the regular way?
No, I did not have a Texan in. Somehow I'm not on the in Texan list, I don't think. I just went the regular.
Baylor. Yeah, it's because we didn't go to Baylor.
I know, Texas A&M for me. So, no, I did not have a Texas in, but I just went about the old fashioned way. I'd auditioned for Chicago Fire a few times, and this one just was the right role at the right time.
Very cool. How familiar, you said obviously you auditioned for Fire before. How familiar though were you with the shows before you joined? Had you ever seen any episodes, or you just went in blind?
Oh yeah. I mean, I haven't seen every episode of Chicago Fire, but I've seen a lot. I was Chicago Fire and PD. I used to watch a lot. I mean, there's so much television on as an actor. You kind of have to be aware of all of it. So there's only so much time in a day. So for a while, I was really watching it consistently. Had it on my DVR, both of the shows, and so now I'm there with it.
That's really great. Cool. And now that you're joining in the 11th season, what is that like? Is it intimidating or not so much since you've seen the shows before?
I don't find it intimidating. I find it exciting. You have a super solid foundation already there. As an actor, you just got to come in and just be a part of the team. I love team things in general, so that resonates a lot with me. Being able to join a tribe of people that are really working together and know each other is such a powerful thing to be a part of. This unit in general, this family, the people from the cast to the crew, to the writers, to the showrunner, like it's a really powerful team that really cares about each other. And it's nice to know when you walk into something you don't really know, but when I walked into Chicago Fire I talked to Miranda like the first day I was here, and pretty much from then on it was like, hey, we're a team. Let's make this happen.
That's awesome. So talking about Carver specifically, what initially drew you to that character?
Well, sometimes it's just opportunity. Opportunity to act, opportunity to have to deal in a character. I think as I've gotten to know him more, peeling back the layers myself as the person portraying him, I'm really finding myself enjoying my expression through him. I said before, but I think it's a powerful thing to know when boundaries are good to set and how to like manage them. And Carver is really good at that. So I'm enjoying leaning into that. You know, he's not afraid to just say, no, I don't want to talk to you about that, or no, I'm better at this than you. Like, he's willing to be honest. Directness is not always a bit beneficial in life. Sometimes you need to have a little bit of charm swung in there. But for me, it's really refreshing, because sometimes I'm not great at setting boundaries.
Yeah. And so we don't really know a ton about Carver yet. He's been a little mysterious, but in what ways are you similar and different from him?
I'm similar in that I trust myself. You know, I really believe that, like, if this is what I need to do, I can handle it. If I'm standing in a spot and this is what I have to take care of in life as an actor, if I show up for something, I'm going to be able to do it. And Carver is like that. He's not going to show up for something if he can't do it. If he's not going to be able to do it correct the first time. That's really something that I appreciate about that. We also come from like similar, like, working class backgrounds, you know, working at a young age, working construction. Like, I've done all that stuff myself as well. So it's nice to be able to bring that experience to him. Different. I think we've kind of touched on it a little bit there with the whole setting boundaries. He's ready to rub you wrong and be okay with it. Whereas Jake's like, hey, I want you to like me. What's up? How's everything going? You know, so a little bit of that is the balance.
Yeah. I know we've had a lot of conversations on the podcast about like how hard it is as fans sometimes to get behind characters that we either don't know a lot about, or either that like our favorite characters are specifically wary of. And I feel like a lot of that's true with what's going on with Carver right now. And so I'm curious, as an actor, does not knowing like a character's full backstory, or at least their like true intentions, because you're obviously getting script by script by script, make it harder to tap in and deliver on screen? Or is that just part of the fun of being an actor?
I think there's a little bit of both. Sometimes it is difficult because, you know, we want grounding, but part of your job as an actor is to create. You create backstory all the time. Every time you look at a script, every time you have an audition, you have to create story. You have to go down what I call like the why hole. Like, you ask why, and then from that why answer, well, why that, and then why that, which just creates depth. And I mean, that's the fun part. Like, getting to do script analysis and break down a character's whys is like, that's the juice. That's why we want to do it. You know, we get to live these separate lives. Like, I'm not Carver. Like, I'm not a fireman. I don't live that life. Those guys are way more heroic and awesome than me. And to be able to like step in that shoe and like embody that for a minute and then ask the question, like, why is he doing this? Like, why don't I talk about this thing on my arm? Why don't I just like open up warmly to people? Like, who's like hurt me in the past? Who's set that precedent for me to know that I can't trust people right away? Like, that's an awesome thing to like develop. And then it's different when the story comes out, and we adapt.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, we've thrown around our theories because, again, we still don't really know a ton, but we know you can't really tell us anything, but can you at least tell us if the reason why he is has been revealed yet? If you filmed it?
I don't know if I can.
Yeah, we don't want to get him in trouble. We don't.
No. I don't. I mean, I can say that we haven't filmed it yet.
Okay.
I think that's fine to say. Yeah.
We got the warning from John. Sorry, John.
I didn't spoil anything.
Sorry.
No, that's about as far as I can go with that. I assume, just because I don't want to accidentally do anything. But yeah, we will find out in a great way. Yeah.
Okay.
So most of Carver's scenes so far have been with Stella, and I'm just curious, what's it like working with Miranda?
Oh, Miranda, amazing. She's awesome. Miranda is one of the most like energetically open souls I've ever met. She like brings you in. Like, that may not be Stella, which is awesome because we don't always want to play ourselves. As far as Miranda goes, she's down, she's open, she's playful, and like we have a good time. She's like, she really made me feel at home when I walked in, figuratively. Like I said, she called me the first day I was here in Chicago and made me feel like welcome. Like, I don't know, you don't get that. At least I haven't had that before on a project. Everyone kind of like takes their time and tries to figure out their footing and who's who. And what's what and all that good stuff. But like from the moment like I talked to her, like that just like it just cascaded throughout the rest of the cast and crew. Like everybody wants you to know that there's warmth and that you're welcome, which is a powerful thing when you're coming into a process, into an environment where vulnerability is key. If you can't be vulnerable around these people, you're not gonna be able to be vulnerable on set or anything. So when you have people welcoming you like that, it makes it a lot easier to be a part of this cast.
Very nice, very nice. Since you're familiar with the whole One Chicago universe, we can ask this now. If you could
Mhm.
guess, yeah, if you could guest star on PD or Med or like in a crossover, is there any actor from one of the other shows that you're just dying to work with?
I like Patty from PD. I've met him in person as well. He's an awesome dude, super warm, like down to earth guy. I feel like we have a good vibe together. From the Midwest as well. Like you know, I'm from Texas. It's
Yeah.
online. That's really cool. I would. I don't think it had ever happened, but something in New York would be cool as far as a crossover. Like their I think it's the organized crime one.
Oh
Would be
yeah.
cool. Um, yeah, I mean, I feel like that could. I'm open for any of it, to be honest. Like, I love doing this. I love being a part of this universe, and I'd be down to play on any of those outlets.
That's awesome.
The
So
most like political politician answer I think I've ever said.
no.
You're good.
So aside from the One Chicago shows, we're big TV fans in general, and you were talking about obviously your DVR and having, used to watching a lot of TV, and so we like to talk TV whenever actors come on the podcast. So what are you watching right now when you have time?
When I have time,
Yeah.
it's a good question. One of my favorites right now is I've been on the House of Dragons train. Like, awesome show, a lot of fun, interesting format. All that stuff has been fun to just like talk about and experience. I really like the show C on Apple TV as well. Jason Momoa is the lead of it. It's an awesome show. Premise is like the world has kind of gone post-apocalyptic, but instead of being like this desert area, everyone has just gone blind. So no one can see until like, I don't remember, like 200 years later, I think is what the story start is. And then suddenly a couple of people are born with sight, and like what people think of them and just the way that world is. I'm a martial artist, so a lot of the stunts and the fight scenes are really awesome. They are pretty brutal and violent, but the reality of that world would be brutal and violent. So it's nice to see that they're being honest about that. And yeah, that I love. I got my like stuff I like to put on. I've been going through Parks and Rec recently, which is fun. It's not
Great
current,
show.
but it's fun. What else have I been watching? I think that's the most recent too. Like that's really all I have time for right now.
Very nice.
That's
Very
awesome.
nice. So as we said earlier, we love to have the new people on just to kind of get to know you. So we're going to throw some of those little like get to know you favorite questions out there. So what would be your dream acting role?
Oof, man, I don't want to be cliche, but I would love to be in a Western. I grew up on Westerns, I know how to ride horses, like I shoot guns. Like it's one of those things where it'd be nice to bring all that to like one character. I even have a book series that I would love to do. I'm not going to say it because I don't want anyone to try to do it, but I want to do it. There's definitely some material out there, some what's it called? Anyway, some material out there that I would love to do, and a Western would be awesome.
Have you watched Yellowstone?
Of course.
I was going to say, you would love that show.
I would love that show. I've auditioned for that show.
So good.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah.
It's epic. Yeah.
What is your favorite way to spend your days off when you get them?
Oof. Well, like I said, I'm a martial artist, so I train a lot when I have days off, just because it's like motion meditation. So a lot of potion in that. I also am a big golfer. So if I'm not training, I'm probably playing golf. My grandfather taught me to play golf when I was like 4 or 5. Like I had clubs at an early age, and it's something that he and I always did together, and something that I like. There's a lot of nostalgia in it for me. I lost him a few years back, and so it's one of those things where I go out there and get to it's moving meditation. It's really awesome for me.
Nice.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Favorite thing you've done so far in Chicago, and if not, what's the number one thing on your Chicago bucket list to accomplish?
Oh my gosh, that's an amazing thing to ask. I surprisingly, the architecture tour was pretty awesome for a morning to go and do that. I really had a good time on that thing. Just I think architecture is pretty awesome, and to see like how everything started in Chicago is really cool. Man, what have I not done? I want to go to Wrigley Field. Haven't been to that yet. Haven't been to Soldier Field. Sports references all day long. Um, One of my favorite things besides, playing golf and being part of the crew is we went and played paintball the other day, and we're actually gonna go play paintball again this weekend. So we'll be doing that. That's been a blast. Yeah, I've just been enjoying hanging out with the people here. I think that I get along with Chicago really well. Trying to think of the other Chicago like hot, like what are some of the hot things? Maybe there's something I don't even know about. Are there stuff that you guys could suggest? Like,
trying to think.
I was gonna say the architecture tour is number one on my list to do. I haven't done it yet. That's the number one thing on my thing the next time I go.
That's a big one. Last time I was there like a month ago, we did the aquarium because we're a bunch of children, and we actually enjoyed that. That was pretty fun.
Oh, where's the aquarium at?
The Shed Aquarium. I think it's off Lakeshore, said the Texan. So I could be very wrong, but yeah, I might be wrong on that. But it's really fun. We had a really good time, and there's a really nice view of the city.
I love a good aquarium visit. I'll have to check that out. There's one right there.
There we go.
Yeah. So great. What's your sport? Like sports wise, we got to figure this out because we're sports people too. What's your favorite sport?
I mean, to watch is probably football. Mm-hmm. To play is golf. Yeah. I mean, some people don't consider golf a sport. I do, but
no, it's definitely a sport. Definitely a sport.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I'm into that.
Cowboys, Mavericks. Where's our allegiance?
Cowboys for sure. I'm there for people to hate on, so I'm there for my own frustration as well. It is a masochistic team to follow for sure.
I can agree with that. I got you there.
Yeah.
That's funny. Go ahead, Bryna.
So just kind of, we figured we'd end it with the one fun one. So given that this week's episode was a Halloween one and that it's almost that time of year, what is the best Halloween costume you've ever worn?
I'm a huge Ace Ventura fan, and so my hair is a lot shorter right now compared to what it usually is. But if you search deep enough on my Instagram, you'll see me in some Ace Ventura outfits, and I go way too deep on it, and I memorize lines from it and walk around saying lines and looking like a moron. So I have a great time doing it though.
That's awesome. We're gonna have to go find those pictures.
Yeah, they're there. I hope that's a good thing.
That's awesome.
I love it. Well, that is the perfect note to end on. Jake, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you both so much. It's a pleasure.